Hey, Queen's Voice. Peter Kafalis back again here in the Floral Park section with a community presentation and meeting that's wrapping up. I'm here with a nice lady named Marliyn. She came from Queens Village, and I just wanted her to explain why she's here, how she believes this would affect our community. Marliyn, thanks for stopping by with Queen's Voice. Please tell the viewers in the broader borough of Queens why you're here and what your thoughts are.
Well, my name is Marliyn Ennis. I've lived in Queens Village. This July will be 45 years. My concern is I like to keep it basically residential. We have to worry about all the amenities, not necessarily amenities, but all of the things that we use: water and sewage, parking, school, taxes.
So you're afraid these big high-rises would break that infrastructure?
They will break the infrastructure, definitely.
And the plan doesn't call for any additional infrastructure, unfortunately.
Precisely. So what are we going to do with all these extra people? So if you don't have parking to begin with now, what are you going to do when somebody builds a 45 apartment unit and each apartment has 2 to 3 cars each? It'll be absolutely absurd. It'll be crazy. So all the resources that we have is already limited to what we have now. Could you only imagine when 75,000 other people are at it? It just makes it that worse. So I'm not saying that we don't need people and we don't need development and we don't need to change, but we need to be considerate of the people that pay the taxes for that area.
Of course.
That have lived there a long time. Everybody knows there's going to be change, but it needs to be beneficial to everybody.
Better change.
Not beneficial to just some.
Now, let me ask you this, man, while we have you here. What would you like to say to your elected officials and Mr. Adams and his administration? I'm sure some of them watch us, and you can say whatever you want. As a voter, as a constituent, as a taxpayer, as a citizen, what's your message to those folks?
Don't play us for idiots. That's all I'm saying. Don't play us for idiots. We do know exactly what you're trying to do, and no, we are not going to allow you to do it. You cannot do this just to benefit a few and forget and neglect the masses. We know what you're doing, and we're going to do it to the best of our ability to make sure it does not happen.
Well, we moved here from Brooklyn when I was 5 years old. My mother said, "We're moving to Queens because Queens is the country." Now, it's not country in the real literal sense, but the grass and trees is attractive. It's a proper way to raise children. We were living in an apartment house, and so we have lots of grass and trees, single-family zoning, fully detached houses, and now they're planning to destroy all that. This zoning will absolutely change the nature and character of these neighborhoods to the point where we won't recognize them anymore. And it's not going to be a livable neighborhood for a lot of us. I've been living here since I'm 5 years old.
Wow.
I just turned 78. I'm still living on the same tree-lined block, and it's been such a pleasant environment to live in. But I don't need an apartment house next to my house. If I'm grilling hot dogs, I don't need to have people looking down on me from their balconies. It's totally inappropriate to mix high-rise and mid-rise and single-family housing all on the same block. Now, they did this in Charlotte, North Carolina. I wish Paul had mentioned this. He was down there in Charlotte. They got rid of the single-family zoning, and now people are seeing their neighborhoods destroyed. And now they're trying to get the law repealed because they realize what a mistake they made. Why do we have to do the same thing that they did? Make a mistake and then try to repeal it. We should just vote this down right now.
Okay, and Jim, what would you say if Mayor Adams, his administration, any of our elected officials, what would be, because I think 99% of the people here are upset about this from what we've seen. You had a good turnout. What would be your message to the Adams administration and all the other elected officials, all the bureaucrats out there? What would you say to them?
Well, we think there's false premises here. They're talking about implementing this zoning in order to create more affordable housing. But it doesn't do that. It doesn't require that rents be low. It's just a giveaway to developers. So we don't see how this actually works. And we think they should just forget the whole thing. As Paul has pointed out, Paul Graziano, the planner, there's very little single-family zoning in New York City anyway. So if they're looking for massive redevelopment, the place to do it is in all those empty office buildings in Manhattan, where there's millions of square feet that can be converted to rental housing.
That's a good
and
point.
Leave our areas alone.
Hello. I came to the meeting because I'm concerned about this proposal, and I'm also concerned that projects have gone up in our neighborhood that we didn't really get to have any input about, such as a shelter that was 2 blocks from our house, and also we don't have any input about sanitation problems too, but that is a separate issue. So we're hopefully we will be able to have more input about this proposal, the City of Yes, and find out from our elected representatives which way they really stand on this, so we can get our input in time. So we can put our information in
Sure.
and our opinions, and that since we are since we're paying such high taxes in the area, we should have our say.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it seems a sentiment here, there's a lot of anger towards some of the elected officials and Mayor Adams, and I heard calls for vote them out, remember who's with us, who's not. Is that the sentiment you would share as well?
I would say that, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so Suzanne echoes what we've heard probably 99% of the people here say, hold them accountable, vote them out, remember who's with us, who's not. Similar things to that sentiment.
Yes.
Is there anything that you'd like to say more to the viewers of Queen's Voice, or to the elected officials, or to maybe even the folks that Mayor Adams is beholden to, that we've heard, that he's doing these favors for? Is there anything you'd like to say about, your community? Would you like to come up, back off, don't destroy the community, or anything like that?
I would like to say that we need to preserve the community that we have, because we can't be. It's not a good idea to have people move around and have to move out of our community, move into another city, another county, another state even, which is it'll break up our families also. If we can't even stay where we have roots in. And I've been here 25 years since I've been married, and at this point I'm just about a senior citizen, and it's going to be hard to uproot and move anywhere else at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, Suzanne, thank you for coming to the meeting. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and voice with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Peter Kafalis with Suzanne, Queens resident. She didn't mince her words either, like no one else has here. She's very concerned, and she wants to preserve her community.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.